James Spader could possibly return to the Stargate franchise. But should he? And how would it even work? Welcome to SciTrek, your sci-fi TV and movie channel. So first of all, I've got to say that this is firmly in the rumour category. It's a rumour I've heard from a couple of different sources now, and if hand on my heart, I suspect it comes from the fact that James Spader is finishing in his series The Blacklist at the moment, and with Stargate coming back, there has been discussions at MGM about whether they should approach James Spader to return for Stargate. Now, I can completely understand why executives at MGM would think this is a good idea. Basically, it would be a big name and it would really excite fans. He could appear in quite a small part, just a cameo maybe, or as a semi-recurring character. We just don't know. But if he did return, would he still be Daniel Jackson? First of all, I have to say that my sources are telling me that actually, if he did return, he would not be back as Daniel Jackson. Now, I actually think there's a possibility he could return as an alternative Daniel Jackson. We've already seen alternative universes after all. And then you could kind of tie the movie in with the series by saying actually the movie was that universe and the TV series is the Prime universe or whatever. And that actually we could have two Daniel Jacksons in the new franchise. As I say, though, my sources are telling me that he probably will not be Daniel Jackson, but he will be a completely different character. Now, we have seen this in reboots before, where an actor from the original will come back in a different role. So it's not completely beyond the realms of possibility. But let's think, first of all, should he? Well, James Spader is an actor that I absolutely adore. I remember seeing him in 1987's Mannequin. He played this weaselly little character that all the way through you're supposed to hate, but I just thought he was great. And I actually ended up remembering as a kid watching this thinking, I want that guy to win. I wanted him to get his day, but, obviously he didn't. Now, he appeared in that movie with Kim Cattrall. Kim Cattrall is a lady that I might have had a bit of a crush on when I was little, and to be honest, might still do a bit now. So I love the film Mannequin. I love James Spader in it. And I just thought that is an actor I really like. And I've watched pretty much everything he's appeared in ever since. Now, don't get me wrong. He has done some awful movies, some really, really bad films. But every single time, he brings his A game. He always just fills up the screen. He does steal almost every scene he's in. And James Spader, particularly when he's playing a bit of a bad guy, he's glorious. In Marvel Age of Ultron, he was the best bit of the film. To be honest, again, he stole every scene he was in. Really, he kind of stole the movie. He may actually be the best Marvel villain we've seen so far. The guy in the most recent Guardians of the Galaxy 3, he pushes him. He's pretty damn good. But Ultron, good villain. I also watched James Spader in something called Boston Legal, a TV show based in his hometown of Boston. Now, I watch that show probably every 2 to 3 years. It's one of my favorite non-sci-fi shows ever made, with the brilliant William Shatner, who is just, again, marvelous in this film. Those two, the Flamingos, if you've watched the series, you'll know what I'm talking about, together were just great, bouncing off each other. It's as close to perfect television as I think you can ever get. Now, in 1994, when Stargate came out, I saw that this brilliant actor who I had just adored in Mannequin was appearing in a movie with Kurt Russell. Jack Burton himself from Big Trouble in Little China that I had just adored since 1986 when that came out. Also had Kim Cattrall in it. I think I might have a little bit of a problem with Kim Cattrall. I think I love her. So I saw these two great actors in a film that I just thought looked awesome, and I was straight to the cinema to watch it. And it was then that I became a gator. Now, Michael Shanks did a James Spader impression in the early SG-1 seasons, and I actually thought he did a great job of it. But I always thought it was better when Michael Shanks stopped doing it and made the character his own. Because, to be honest, however good the impression of James Spader was, it was just an impression. He could never quite be as brilliant as the original. Also, I should say that it is almost certain that Michael Shanks will return to whatever franchise. My sources have been telling me for quite a long time now that Michael Shanks has already verbally agreed to return, along with Amanda Tapping. We will be seeing the TV version of Daniel Jackson. Not to worry. Because obviously there is the threat of James Spader returning. Does that mean we're getting a hard reboot? Again, everything I've told you so far, we're not. Don't have to worry about it. This is going to be a continuation. Everything I'm being told says it's going to be a continuation. Don't panic. So what character would James Spader take on if he's not being, Daniel Jackson? Well, to be honest, I'd love to see him in sort of a villain role. From the very first movie, to be honest, he could be the main villain, moving then into the franchise, the TV series. I would absolutely love to see that. Maybe he's a Goa'uld coming back, some ancient Goa'uld returning, somebody that has, a bit more power than the original Goa'uld, maybe sort of on Anubis level, somebody that can actually try to maybe get revenge against the Tauri for what they did to the Goa'uld. Or maybe he comes back as like a politician or something, a role, again, a Weasley character that I think he would be brilliant at. To be honest, anything that he does would be awesome. I'd also wouldn't mind seeing maybe as the new leader of the SGC, for example, maybe working alongside Daniel Jackson. That could give us some really brilliant comedic moments. But if I'm really honest and hand on my heart, I hope he comes back as a villain because that's when James Spader is at its best. Reddington from the Blacklist series was at his best when he was actually being a bad guy. Ultron, obviously, the ultimate bad guy. Even really in Boston Legal, where, okay, he wasn't a bad guy necessarily, but he wasn't exactly a good person either a lot of the time. And we kind of loved him at its best when he was kind of being his worst. He was a little bit of a naughty boy, let's say that. But guys, I'd love for you to get into the comments and tell me what you think. Should James Spader return to the Stargate franchise? Should he return as an alternative version of Daniel Jackson or a different character altogether? I'd love to know exactly what you think. Please get in the comments. If you are new to the channel, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. It really helps us out and you'll never miss any of our new videos. Also, you can go to patreon.com/SciTrek, where most of our new videos appear first. And for a small contribution each month that really supports the channel, you get to see them without the adverts. As always, please stay safe and I'll see you next time.